What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 10 of starting a clothing brand from scratch. Doing something a little bit different today. As the title represents, we are going to be going into a deep dive, a little bit of an educational video on how you can find a manufacturer for your clothing brand in 2025. Very simple, straightforward stuff. All this information that I'm going to be giving to you is just a reiteration of videos that I've watched personally on YouTube. So if you find that I didn't cover some of these topics enough, feel free to find some other videos on YouTube, because that is literally how I learned. But I had a shit ton of people ask me, and I figured I would cover this topic on its own video because it is a pretty in-depth guide. So let's get into it, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. So I'm going to open up my desktop, I'm going to screen record, and I'm going to show you guys how to find a good manufacturer, at least the steps that I take to find my own manufacturers. To kick things off, there's a few different websites that you guys can use when you're actually looking for manufacturers. Personally, I use Alibaba. I think it is just one of the most suitable apps for a beginner. It's really easy to use, it's very simple. They have a lot of guarantees, so you're not going to get scammed, which is obviously ideal. There's a few different ones that you can use. I'm not going to say which ones because I've never used them before. I'm only going to go through Alibaba, which is what I've used. Just going to log in. Obviously, you got to create your account, do all that shit, and get set up. And then basically, this is kind of my home page right now. So this is stuff that I'm currently working on. This is my actual account that I'm using for building 29 Collective. So I have different quotes, I have some messages that I need to go through, different suppliers and stuff like that. I'm not gonna show you exactly the suppliers that I'm working with yet. I don't know if I'll ever share exactly the manufacturer. Maybe I will. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. I don't want to refer you guys to a manufacturer if they're not good. I mean, that's like the last thing that I want to do, because I don't want you to be coming at me for some bullshit like that. For now, I'm not going to tell you guys the manufacturers that I'm using. So essentially, you want to go to the homepage, and I literally just did that by clicking on the Alibaba.com logo, and you're going to come to this page here. It says products, manufacturers, regional suppliers. The regional suppliers, I wouldn't worry too much about. Like, this is just based on the country. So there is other countries through Alibaba that you can kind of go through. I'm not sure, I've never gone through like all of them, so I don't know which factories are actually on Alibaba. My main one that I use is China, and Pakistan is another really popular one on Alibaba. Personally, I use China. I've just heard from my own research that generally the quality is a little bit better in China. I don't know. I've never ordered anything from Pakistan. You can do lower MOQs, and sometimes it's cheaper for like shipping and for production and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can do your own research on that and you can decide which one you want to go with. But personally, I use China. The most basic thing that you're going to go into is the products, because this is where you're going to obviously choose the product and search the product that you're actually trying to create. So with the product section, you're gonna be essentially searching what it is that you're trying to manufacture. So obviously, if it's clothing, you're gonna type in the type of clothing that you want to create. So for me, something that's on my list of potential things to sample is a button polo, a long sleeve button polo. And so we're going to type that in. So we're going to type in long sleeve polo shirt for men, just like so. Once the search comes up here, you're going to find that whatever keyword you use to search, it's going to come up with it pretty accurately. Now, to filter out the search a little bit more, there's these things on the left-hand side here that show the guarantees, the supplier features, all that stuff. So there's a lot of different things that you can actually go through to kind of get the most accurate representation of what you're looking for, if that makes sense. Now, a few things that I will recommend that you do filter is the trade assurance. So this one right here. Now, the trade assurance is actually just basically a partnership that Alibaba has with these manufacturers, where if they're registered as a trade assurance manufacturer, essentially you have no responsibility to a scam or being scammed. It means that the manufacturer has essentially been legitimized by Alibaba, and they they're a legit factory. They're not just going to take your money. The Alibaba guarantee, so this is with, guaranteed on-time deliveries or whatever. So this is a good one because let's say, for example, if you're doing a launch for your clothing brand, having the Alibaba guarantee will essentially allow you to set a specific timeline with that manufacturer. And if the manufacturer doesn't meet that specific timeline or that delivery date or production date or whatever, I believe you can get like either a partial refund or something like that. It is quite a helpful thing to have, especially if you're like a new brand and you have a hard expected deadline for something. Another thing here is the supplier features. So the verified supplier, this is just the credentials and capabilities that is inspected and verified by a third-party company. The pro version, basically just the verification and the inspections that are done on these brands. So I would highly recommend at least the supplier one. The pro one is not super necessary, but I would at least click the verified supplier one because, again, similar to that trade assurance, you're not going to get scammed. Verified supplier essentially means that the manufacturers have done inspections for like labor laws and ethical sourcing and stuff like that. So these are obviously things that we should care about as people who are starting clothing brands, because I'm not trying to have my clothing made by a child slave. Absolutely not. So, can you say child slave? I don't know. I'm going to include it in, but I'm sorry. Basically, the verification allows you to be at peace because your manufacturer is following the laws. That is already going to set you up with a good kind of list of manufacturers that you can go through. Third thing that I really try and focus on before anything else is going to be the store reviews or the store rating. 5-star reviews, right? Like that's kind of if you're looking for like a premium product, you want 5 stars. But I would say that with some of these manufacturers that are on Alibaba, if you're looking at 4 stars and up, you're going to essentially be finding the best of the best manufacturers. Like if I click on the 5 stars like this, you might see, for example, like this manufacturer here. They've been in business for 2 years. They're from Pakistan. They have 5 stars, but they only have 2 reviews. So another thing, there's this one right here as well. 19 years, 5 stars, 1 review. That doesn't really add up. And then yeah, same here from Hong Kong. 2-star or 5 stars, 2 reviews. So when you're looking at like 5-star ones, you either have to be like really strict about what you're looking for, or you're putting trust into something that has 1 review, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Whereas if you're going to 4 stars and up, you're going to notice that it'll open up a lot more options for you. So like this one, for example, 4.8 stars, 146 reviews. So generally when a manufacturer has quite a high rating, like this one, 4.8 stars, 409 reviews, when you see that, that's generally a good manufacturer. That's definitely a manufacturer that you want to add onto your list. Make sure that we're filtering out the trade assurance because you don't want to get scammed. You want to filter out the verified supplier. So this is going to be the inspections that the companies have done or have been inspected on to ensure labor laws and ethical sourcing and all that stuff. And then you want to be going into the store reviews where we're looking for 4 stars and up. The higher the rating with the more reviews, generally the higher quality or the more well-known manufacturer is going to be. Now, another thing that I would recommend is as you're going into these manufacturers, so let's say, look at this one for example. So this one's 4.8 stars. They're a verified pro supplier, which is fantastic. So if we click into them, these are the photos that you're going to see that they've kind of listed. And something that I will say right off the bat is sometimes manufacturers, I don't know what it is, but they use like not their own product on their own photos. This is like all manufacturers, especially on Alibaba, like this is all manufacturers. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. And obviously it's because like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this brand before, I've never seen it, but they put like really sick designs or like well-known products on their website as a reference photo because it's essentially like clickbait, right? So they're getting you to click into it to potentially be used as a manufacturer. So it's not like they're necessarily trying to like scam you, but they're trying to entice you to go to their manufacturer and use them. So that is something to keep in mind. You always want to ask the manufacturer for photos of work that they have done in their own factory. My last thing here, because I've been fucking ranting about this for a long time, when you are going through your manufacturing list, I would highly recommend you message between 5 and 10 manufacturers and just compare them. That's just my 2 cents. I would highly recommend that. I do hope you found that helpful. It's literally videos like these that allowed me to start my clothing brand from scratch. So I hope that I provided some information that you can now take into your own clothing brand. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I would be happy to answer some more stuff. And I also have a brand owner specific channel for my Discord that's going to be linked in the description below. So if you feel like you want to join, jump in, say you're a brand owner, and I will give you access to the brand owner's channel. It's completely free. I'm just trying to build a community of brand owners that we can feed off of each other. Sending positive vibes, you know what I'm saying? We're just trying to build fucking cool shit, and I'm happy to share that with others. With that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. Can't remember if I said that. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.